Hello everyone and welcome back to another Solidworks lecture video, and in today's video we're finally going to be moving on from simple 2D sketches. We're going to start making some actual 3D models. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to create is a sketch. So I'll start with something simple. I'm just going to make like a rectangle. I'll give it some dimensions. I'll make this 3 and this dimension 4. Okay. Then I can go ahead and hit exit sketch. Now, the next thing you want to do is you kind of want to come over to your feature tree and select the sketch you want to create an extrusion on. Then come up here to features and select extruded boss base. That's automatically going to highlight the specific sketch that you want to actually create the extrusion on. So let's take a look at what we got here. So we got a couple different options. So it's going to automatically default to blind extrusion, where you can set it to however far you want to extrude it. So let's just say I want to extrude it 1 inch. It's going to extrude 1 inch. I'll just hit OK, and now I've got my first 3D model. Now let's say I want to go back and I want to edit that extrusion. I want to change something about it. Let's say I want to have a mid-plane extrusion, where it's going to extrude a total of 1 inch, but it's going to do ½ inch in one direction and ½ inch in the other direction. So this is something that will be very useful whenever you're dealing with any kind of part that has any kind of symmetry. You might want to use a mid-plane extrusion. Let's take a look. So we got a couple of other end conditions: up to vertex, up to surface, offset to surfaces, up to body. We'll go over those in a little bit more detail in a later lecture, but for right now, let's just stick to just blind and mid-plane extrusion. So I'll keep it at blind. So we've also got this this draft on and off feature. So what that's going to do is it's going to draft the extrusion inwards or outwards, however many degrees you may want it to be. I don't want it to be on right now, so I'm going to uncheck it. If I want to extrude it in a certain distance in the other direction, I can do that as well. I can have it 1 inch in one way and ½ inch in the other way. So I'm just going to leave it as a simple 1 inch extrusion mid-plane, and that's the simple basics on how to create an extrusion. Now you can also use the extruded cut to create a hole. So it works much the same way. Is that you have a contour that you'll just extrude, and as opposed to adding material, you're going to delete material. So to do that, I'm going to need to create another sketch. Now so far we've only been sketching on our top plane, front plane, and side plane. Those are still available to us. We can still click on this drop down right here, and we can still see our front plane, top plane, and right plane. Or I come over here to this eyeball, and I can check to show those 3 planes. But I'm gonna uncheck that. But I'm not limited just sketching on those 3 planes. I can also select any other flat surfaces to create a sketch on. So I'm just gonna select this top surface of this extrusion, and I'm gonna go normal to it. So I'll hit the space bar, and I'll select normal too, and that's gonna snap my screen to being normal to that face that I'm sketching on. So let's just say I want to create a simple hole. So I'm just going to draw something here. I'm going to dimension it. Let's say I want it to be 1 inch, and I can dimension it now off of elements of this extrusion. So I can dimension it to say I want it to be 2 inches that way, and 1½ inch down, so 1.5, and that'll fully constrain that sketch. So now I'm done with the sketch. I'll exit. Select this sketch here. Come to features, extrude cut, and then I can do it much the same way as I did with the extrusion. So I can do a blind extrusion where I can set how far down I want it to be. Say I want it to only be ½ inch into the extrusion, or if I want to make sure that it's a through all, where it'll always go through all the material that's in front of it. I can say up to next, where I can select the next feature that I want to extrude up to surfaces, where I can select the surface, and so on and so forth. But for now, I'm just going to stick to mid-plane, where it'll extrude ½ inch. And in much the same way, I can draft inwards and outwards. As you can see by the preview, what it's doing. And I'm going to hit OK. So that's the very basics on how to create a extrusion or extrude cut. Now you also have the option to have multiple contours within a sketch, and you can select which contours you want to extrude. So let me show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to back this up, and I'm going to delete this. So I'll just right click on it, hit delete, and I'll delete this sketch as well. And I'm going to delete this as well. Just go all the way back to square one, where it's just got my sketch. So I'm going to go right click, edit sketch, and I'm going to put some more contours in it. So I'm going to put, let's see, I want there to be a circle right here. The circle is going to be 1 inch. One inch that way. And then I'm also going to put a square, 1 inch, 1 inch, and then it's going to be ½ inch and a ½ inch. Alright, so I got multiple contours within this one sketch. Now when I go to extrude, I can select which contours I want to extrude. So I'm going to exit, and I'm going to select the sketch and click Extruded Boss Base. So right now it's assuming that I want to just extrude everything within this contour, but I got a contour here and a contour here. So I can come right down here to selected contours, and I can then tell Solidworks specifically what contours I want to extrude. So just for now, I'm going to select all three, and I'm going to do mid-plane extrusion. Okay. Now let's say I wanted to go back in and keep extruding those contours. I'm going to click this little drop down right here on this feature. I'm going to click the sketch, and I'll click Extrude Boss Base again. Whoops. There we go. Make sure I have it selected. And I'll come back here to select contours, and I'll select this contour. And let's just say I want to extrude it, let's see, this one to be a ½ inch in this direction. So I'll hit OK. I've extruded that contour now. I can go back into that sketch again, hit Extruded Boss Base, and select the other contour. And let's say I want this to go in the opposite direction. I'll just click this box right here, and now it's extruding in the opposite direction. And hit OK. Alright, so that's going to do it for this lecture on the basic intro to extrusion and extrude cut. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content such as this. Until next time, have a good one. Bye-bye.